Chapter 11 with Jake. Marco and I took the bus to the place close to where dust beasts attacked Rachel and destroyed the ice cream truck. The bus stopped and we climbed off. We were at a combination gas station convenience store just off the highway. There's a Denny's cross street and a Dairy Queen not far off. The wreckage of Ben and Jerry truck was at the gas station, been towed to get off the road. There wasn't much left of the trailer, but chewed up and ground to splinters. Well, Marco said dryly, that sure was like the work of some creature that ventilated Darlene's house. Ventilate is a good word for it. You do realize you shouldn't have been there in the first place, said. Someone could have been killed. Like I knew some devil beast gonna come after me, she demanded. I let go. Marco knew he screwed up. At least, I hoped he knew. Come on, I said. You have the bag? Of course I have the bag, Marco rumbled. We head for the woods. Once well in the trees, against scanning the tree branches. Up here, Tobias said in Dossbeak. He was on a branch bringing his feathers. He used his beak to comb through each one. Is it really the time to be worrying about your looks? Preening isn't about looks. I'm cleaning and straightening feathers. Clean feathers fly better. How do you get dirty? I mean, flying all the time. I was hungry. I ate a mouse. It's a mouse just like one you became this morning. It wasn't very clean. Any other questions? I smiled as Marco turned a little green. Where's Axe? He's coming about a mile back. He's fast on foot, whereas I flew. Did you? No, I didn't see anything. No humans walking around as far as I saw. Except for this crazy one who lives in a shack out there. No Rachel. Just missed her again. Okay, I said. Marco and I got more. If you want to go up top and make sure we're clear. He opened his wings so below overhead so we're catching a headwind rising over the treetops. Ready, Marco? I asked. Sure, I love this morph. It's cool. It's what morphing should always be like. We were planning on using our wolf morphs. For one thing, wolves ran into the forest, so we wouldn't be out of place. But more importantly, they have a great sense of smell. Open the bag. He opened the bag and we took out a girl's shirt. It belonged to Rachel. She lived in Cassie's house, so it did still smell like her. We were going to play Bloodhound. We shoved our clothes back in the bag and stood there in our morphing suits, bike shorts and tops. Needless to say, we looked a bit out of place. All clear, Tobias called down from somewhere above. Well, let's do it, I said to Marco. You look so Arnold in that expression, Marco tensed. So what? Arnold, Schwarzenegger. Now shut up, I smiled. Alright then, let's do it, Marco said, doing a pretty decent Arnold accent. I cannot do an Arnold accent, so I'm not gonna try. I focused on the wolf. We first acquired these wolf morphs a while back on a mission to destroy a Yerk truck ship. Wolf, I said to myself. The first change is the fur, gray and shaggy and rough as carpeting. I spread over my human skin to wave that rippled down my neck all across my body. I could see my face bulging out growing a long snout. It was odd because when you're human, you can't really see your own nose. So it's definitely weird that this long thing sticking out of your face. Of course, not exactly the only weird thing about morphing. Morphing seems like it should hurt. I mean, there's entire organs in your body that are changing, even down to individual cells. Everything changes in a couple of minutes. It doesn't hurt, though. I guess the scientists who discovered the process made sure that, if it did, you'd be in pain too terrible to live through, especially when you're doing something really bizarre like a lobster or ant. There's almost nothing left even slightly human. But it didn't hurt, but it definitely creeped you out. I heard my bones shifting and popping and stretching and squeezing. There's a grinding noise when my knee set in the reverse direction. Hey, Jake, Marco said like he still had most of his human mouth. I tried to answer a second, I was like, Marco grinned and his mouth is within a second, his mouth bulged into a snout. His teeth grew and multiplied and became the fearsome weapons of the wolf. I don't believe it. It's coming, Tobias yelled. It's coming. I need to ask what Tobias meant. I looked up in the sky. A dust storm was blowing just above the trees. It's coming. Chapter 12 with Rachel. Let me out, you crazy woman, I yelled. I was learning something about myself. I still don't know my own name, but I knew one thing. Whoever I was, I had a temper. I guess that doesn't change. But the woman was no longer paying attention to me. I heard her in the cabin above sorting clothes and muttering. The anger I felt was good. I realized it kept me from being scared. There's something about that word, yerk, that meant something. Something bad. Flash. I was looking for strange eyes, seeing too well, seeing not at all. Then a centipede, bigger than human, huge. More creatures, some real, some that couldn't possibly be. An elephant, a massive rampaging bear, ants as big as I was. A deadly creature swung razor-sharp arms and feet like a tyrannosaurus and a creature dying, like a horse. No, a deer, but not. A tail that flashed, eyes too many eyes, and thoughts that were inside my head. Get out of my head, I yelled suddenly. I gasped. I've been so powerful, my mind opened and gushed out horrible images, and it closed off again. Everything is once more hidden behind a gray blanket. And then I smelled smoke. The scent was strong and near. Was the old one cooking? Making a campfire? Was she... The shack, it was burning. Let me out of here, I cried. The shack's on fire. You won't get me again, Yerk. I'm not a Yerk. Let me out. The fire spread with stunning swiftness, and less than a minute there were tongues of flame dropping down through the chinks in the floor above me. I could hear snapping and popping. The smoke poured down in gusts and then blew away and come back stronger still. Let me out, I yelled again, but there's no answer. I was going to burn. I coughed as smoke scorched my throat. I ran to a log upright in front of the cage. I shoved and pulled, but it didn't move. I was trapped. I tried to scream but coughed suddenly. I could barely breathe. Already my head was feeling light. Power. I needed power. Power enough to shatter these rotted logs. I sank to my knees, driven down by the heat. Smoke sparks all around me. I brushed it away as I burned my legs and back. I was too weak. I couldn't do it. But within me, something within me, and then began. I didn't even notice at first I was too terrified. I expected the flame-crawling wolf cabin to crash down on me at any moment. Suddenly I started to change. I was becoming large, so quickly my head was rising toward the flames. Heavy dark brown fur was growing on my arms and legs. I noticed most was a power. Rippling massive muscles bulged my arms and legs and swelled in my neck. It was an incredible giddy rush. I was weak and failing and near death, and the next minute the power, the amazing straining, bulging, explosive power. Chapter 13 with Marco. Tobias came shooting down toward us. He wanted to make sure we knew. It's coming! I was halfway into morph. Could I use thought speak? I decided to try. We hear you, Tobias. I can see it. Finished morphing, Jake yelled in my head. Bear the faces thing is wolves. I was trembling in fear. I'd faced the thing once already. I wasn't interested in facing it twice, but Jake was right. Bear fight is a wolf than a human, and this time he was with me. I was on all fours, could feel the wolf's strength. I could sense the intelligence and instincts of the wolf mind. All their incredible senses were mine. I looked up at the beast for me. I knew the wolf wasn't nearly enough. No animal morph could possibly fight this thing. Look at it, I cried. Yeah, Jake said, he's trying to sound brave, but he's been my friend for years. I know when he's scared. He was scared plenty. Here it comes. The beast of 100 mouths and 100 whirling blades came for us. They were treetops in the way. It shredded them. We ran. It would have been stupid doing anything else. My powerful wolf jaws are nothing to this beast. I ran and ran. Wolves are pretty good speed and incredible endurance. They can run for hours all day if necessary, but I didn't think I'd get a chance to run that long. It dropped just a few feet above the ground, leveled off, and came after us. The bead trees are close together, too bright for it to fit through, so simply shred anything in its way. The noise is shocking. I ran and leapt over fallen logs, dodged around trees, and counted on my rough gray coat to protect me from as I ripped straight through thorn bushes. The beast moved right through a path 50 feet wide through the forest like some nightmare lumberjack. It reduced trees to twigs and splinters in seconds. Wood shrapnel flew everywhere. It's gaining, I said to Jake. Look, my little, it's gaining. The trees destroys them, but it slows it down just enough. More trees, thicker trees. I looked wildly around the world washed pale by a wolf's poor color vision. There were trees everywhere, too many. I didn't know which way the forest grew denser and which way it would thin out. But the wolf did. Its own instincts led the way. We both felt it, I guess, because we began turning north. The trees grew thicker and there were more of them. The beast shoots right after us, but was no longer gaining. But it wasn't falling behind either. Jake, Marco, what are you doing, Tobias yelled? Heading for denser woods. Maybe it'll slow this thing down. It's getting thicker up ahead. You better hope it wears out soon. Why? Because you have a quarter mile of woods and it opens up to a meadow, open grass. We didn't say anything. We didn't have to. We both knew if it didn't tire out when we came out in the open country, it'd catch us, and it didn't seem tired. Then, as terrified as it was, I smelled something set off deeper alarm bells in the wolf's mind. Smoke. There was a fire not long far away, and my cute wolf ears came a faint sound of a human voice screaming. As if the beast had heard the same faint cry, I saw the monster shudder. It hesitated. Jake, look! The beast wavered and slowed. I could see a meadow through the trees, the meadow we'd surely die. Except now it was wavering and turned away. It turned toward a place that smelled of fire and smoke. Chapter 14 with Rachel. I was in a shower of flames as bits of wood and fabric fell around me. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, but I could hear the insane grinding noise in my body and knew I was changing. In my despair, I felt the power flowing through me. Awesome power, but was it enough? I waited for as long as I could. I wasn't done changing, but the heat was too great, and the thing that was becoming hated the fire. A sudden surge in my muscles. A forward push. I slammed into the half-rotted logs. Crunch! The logs broke into force in my huge body. The logs imprisoned me were mere sticks now. I hurled through them away from the burning shack. At that moment, it collapsed in an explosion of sparks. I stood panting. I stood on all four legs. I looked down and saw front paws where hands should have been. My paws were covered in coarse brown fur, very shaggy. I had long black claws. Flash! A bear on its hind legs roaring and swinging its paws. Creatures all around like walking razor blades. They came for the bear. Came for me. Yes, I thought. Grizzly bear. That was it. I had become a bear. Was still becoming a bear because the morphing was not complete. What am I? I shouted, but the noise came out of my mouth was not human. What kind of creature was I? How could I do this? How could I become a different animal? It was insane. Insane. Maybe it was that simple. Maybe I was as crazy as the one who burned down a shack to kill me for being a yerk. Was that it? Was I a yerk? What was a yerk? Suddenly I heard a wild rush of wind, not from the burning, crumbling cabin far above. Up in the air. I looked up, my human eyes are chained to bare ones, and I couldn't see very well. I only saw a large shadow hovering above me. A flash of movement. It was attacking. The last of my human body was gone. Now I felt the full force of Grizzly Bear's own mind. It was unafraid, and more than that, it was angry. No one attacked a grizzly, not if they wanted to live. I roared up on my hind legs. I must have been 10 feet tall, and I knew I was mighty. I roared and swung a massive paw at the hovering beast, but then a second flash of movement, another animal racing swiftly toward us. Rachel! Rachel, is that you? A voice demanded. A voice didn't hear, except in my head. I looked at the new creature, come to a stop just a dozen feet away. I peered at my dim vision. It had 4 legs like a horse or deer, but it seemed to have a head and upper body almost human, and as a tail I was sure it was cocked back like a weapon ready to be fired. For a frozen moment in time we all waited, me, the beast in the air, and this new apparition. Rachel, I asked silently, is that my name? And then the beast made of dust attacked. Chapter 15 with Axe, and actually this is the first time he narrates in the entire series, so that's fun. My name is Axilmi Iskroth Ishtil. I am an Andalite. It was my brother, Prince Elfangor, gave the humans the power to morph. He'd been injured trying to drive the Yeerks away from Earth, and when he crashed land, his fighters Jake, Rachel, Tobias, Cassie, and Marco who found him. It was Visitor 3 who killed my brother, so my human friends have told me. Someday I'll avenge that death. I must kill Visitor 3 or be dishonored. Later, Jake and Eros found me. I was the last surviving Andalite from a great dome ship. I am not one of the Animorphs, but I fight alongside against our common enemy, the Yeerks. And while I am on Earth, I have taken Jake as my prince. I've gone along with Marco on his foolish adventure to the home of a human named Darlene. I knew it was foolish, but I thought it'd be better for him to have someone with him. Marco was highly intelligent, but he's afflicted by a condition that humans call a sense of humor. I've noticed his sense of humor sometimes makes him do strange things. But when the great beast in the sky appeared, I was powerless. Later the humans asked me for answers. Did I know what it was? They assume I must know every terrible thing that lives in this galaxy. But I did not know this creature, and it frightens me. When we set out to find Rachel at Trap of the Woods, I live there now. It's my new home. I raced steadily to reach the place where I would meet with Tobias, Jake, and Marco. Then I decided to smoke. I looked and saw a pillar of smoke rising through the trees. My eyes looked around me, checking every direction. I must be careful to not be seen by human. One stock eye followed a pillar of smoke in the sky, then I saw not smoke but dust. Dust that blew faster than any wind. The beast, it was coming again. I ran faster than forward all my speed. And I'd be looking for me to come to hunt me down, I was sure. Where could I run? Not toward where they were supposed to be. I could not lead the beast to them. But the fire, maybe the smoke could hide me. Yes. I went toward the smell of smoke. My hooves flashed, my tail was tucked down tight against my back for speed. I saw a small clearing, and it was clearing a pillar of flame, a building of some sort burning rapidly. The heat blasted me. I could hear the noise of dry wood snapping and popping, and flames sucking at the air, but there was a grayer noise. The beast, above me, above the fire, it swirled and roared like a storm. Now I saw another creature, an earth animal called a grizzly bear. It reared up and bellowed defiance, but that mighty voice swallowed up in the hurricane howl of the dust beast. A grizzly bear. Rachel had to be in a grizzly bear more if I'd seen her use it. It had to be her. Rachel, is that you? The bear swung its massive head to glare at me, but there was no thought to speak answer. Rachel, is that you and Morph? It's me, Axe. Rachel? Is that my name? Suddenly the beast attacked, and a rush of hurricane winds descended on Rachel. Not me, but on Rachel. It was her it wanted. She stood firm and unafraid. Rachel cried, "Run, you can't fight it!" The beast saw 100 gnashing mouths descend on the bear. It swung a massive paw blow and knocked my head from my shoulders. It would have punched through steel. They raked the dust beast close to its mouth, and the bear cried in pain. Its paw was gone. Simply gone. In its place was a shattered, bloody stump. What could I do? I was desperate. My tail was my only weapon, but the creature was simply grinded off as he did with Rachel's paw. She bellowed in pain from the wound, but she struck again. Still staying erect in defiance, she struck with her other paw. This time her entire leg was gone. I could see the human terror shining from the bear's eyes. Rachel cried in despair. My Andalite tail was useless. I need something else. Anything. What more did I have to fight this creature? Nothing. Her bear was one of the mightiest morphs he had, and she was doomed. There's nothing left but to escape. No, not to escape. To follow the creature and find where it hid. To find where it came from. I had an earth bird morph called a harrier. It was very fast, like a morph perhaps to be able to follow. One thing is certain, I would not save Rachel. That's sad but pragmatic, yeah. The beast descended on Rachel and enveloped her completely. I couldn't see her, and as if the cloud was swallowing her up. The beast shifted and floated and reformed to engulf the raging bear as my human friend. Shaking with fury and horror, I began to morph. With a speed that was shocking, the dust beast stopped. It lifted away from Rachel, it exploded upward away from her and came onto me, right at me, and for a few seconds it left me realizing the morphing. It was the morphing that it was after. It was reacting to morphing. That energy drew the beast in. It lifted from Rachel and flashed of her bare body wrapped in living ropes. The beast had not killed her, it was wrapping her up like wrapping a gift. The living ropes dissolved to rejoin the beast became part of it. 100 mouths and 1,000 blades descended on me. Now I was after me. If I knew if it didn't struck on my tail, it'd leave me a bloody stump. I couldn't fight it. To fight was to be shredded. I stood still and reversed morph and regained my complete form. I felt it around me, suffocating me and choking me. It wrapped me tightly in a cocoon and I could not move an inch. I felt myself being lifted up from the ground, up higher and faster. Unable to see to only hear the wild winds of the beast itself. But now I understood. I knew where it was taking me. I knew the purpose of the beast, and with a fear that chilled me my bones, I realized I knew its master's name. Chapter 16 with Jake. My wolf nose told me a story. The stench of burning wood was everywhere, but I could still smell blood. Something had sprayed blood over a wide area. A bear. The powerful scent of a bear. I sniffed the ground again. Human. 2 different ones. And something else, a strange alien smell like nothing I could imagine, so I looked at the tracks. Hoof marks. Axe had been here. 2 humans, one wearing shoes, one barefoot. A bear. Axe. Blood. A fire. Still smoldering. What do you make of it? The barefoot person had to be Rachel, and so was the bear. There are no grizzlies, and the blood, that's hers too. Or the bear's anyway, so she's hurt bad. I saw anger and fear. What got her a grizzly? I asked, knowing an answer. A man with a gun, Marco said. Another grizzly, some animalism from Earth. No Earth animal can mess with a grizzly bear. It was that thing, I said. Tobias swooped low. Bear tracks head north. See tracks, but they're weird. Hind legs only like the bear's walking erect. And blood. So Rachel and Bearmorph tangled with the dust bee. She came out alive but couldn't use her front paws. That's the way it looks, Tobias said. The bear tracks stopped down by a stream. I don't see anything. Maybe she morphed back? Which way did she go? Marco asked. Upstream? Downstream? He came to rest on a branch. I don't know. I looked. I didn't see her. I should have got here sooner. I should have known they would let you go when I was going after her. Tobias, no one understands this monster. You could have known what it would do. None of us could. It sounds reasonable. In my head, I was thinking what I should have known myself. I should have guessed. What's Axe's story in all this? I asked. Blame myself is not the point right now. Axe came to meet us. He sees the fire, goes to investigate. Maybe he sees Rachel, or Rachel and Bearmorph. Were they both here at the same time? I don't know. Lots of tracks all together here, Margaret said. And then look, they just stop. Right here. No Andalite scent past this point. It's like he was lifted up and carried away. Tobias said, so he gets here, sees Rachel and the beast going at. He's a brave guy. He jumps in. Rachel gets away. She's bloody, but she gets away. And Axe, why is he here? Why do we see a separate set of Andalite tracks leaving, or at least his body? No one said anything. We all feared the worst. I was remembering what the beast had done to Darlene's house and to the trees. Maybe it didn't leave body of us behind. Maybe there's no body left or it was done. Andalites are tougher than they look, Tobias said. I would Axe a lot out in the forest. Don't write him off. Yeah, I agree, trying to sound hopeful. He's been morphed for a long time. To use that time we have to get back to civilization and morph back. I have to check in my folks who have cops looking for me. We can't just stop looking. Tobias only has an hour of good light. After that, there won't be anyone to try to find Rachel or Axe. I'll use that hour, Tobias said. He opened his wings flat wearily back into the sky. We'll come back tonight, I told Marco. Have dinner with your dad, then we'll hook up at Cassie's barn. Jake, what's going on? Marco asked me as he tried back toward the road. Is this the Yerks? Who else could it be? But if it's them, they know who we are. I mean, this thing came right after me and Axe. It went right after Rachel. It went after me and you. It knows who we are, so why don't they just move in? Why show up to our homes? I mean, why not show up to our homes? That's the question, I agreed. We reached the road. The bus was coming by soon. It was time to demorph. That's exactly the question. And the question of Rachel is why she doesn't go home. And one more question I add as I felt my human body emerge. How do we stay alive? Chapter 17 with Cassie. Radio Shack, August Woman, Godiva, The Gap, Miss Fields, Casual Corner, B. Dalton, Candy Shoes, Banana Republic, Bright Lights, Colors, Signs, the smell of cinnamon buns, the mall. Ugh. And we're at the mall on Saturday evening. It was crowded, it was loud, but the mall was a place to look for Rachel. Jake, Marco, Tobias, and I all gone to a spot where the ice cream truck attack had taken place. Jake had asked me to look all over the places she might have gone. He said I'd know best where she hung out. Maybe that was true, but it bothered me a little. It could be a little sexist on his part, or maybe she's trying to protect me. Either way, it bothered me. I didn't want special treatment because I was a girl. Jake would never even think of doing something like that with Rachel. It bothered me for another reason. It bothered me because part of me was just a little relieved. I was safe in the mall. Who knew where Jake and the others were dealing with? I told myself I was glad to be safe. I told myself I was just doing what needed to be done, because the possibility Jake was in danger while I was safe gnawed at me. It's because you told Jake about that stupid dream, I realized. Now he thinks you're losing it. Not surprised, is it? You tell a guy you're having nightmares and you face evil and choose who kills, he's gonna think maybe you're losing it. It's just the same. Jake was right. I knew the places Rachel might go. I saw her check out a gym where Rachel did gymnastics. Rosie, your place, she always ordered key lime pie flavor. I checked school just because that's where she should have caught the bus. I scoped out her house, even her sister said she wasn't there. Which left the mall. Wait, is that her? I stood on my tiptoes to see better. No, some other blonde girl. I'm not a shopper. To me, shopping is something you do when you have to. For Rachel is an art form. If she wasn't home, she should be here. Rachel called loudly, but did knew it wasn't her. Sorry, thought I knew you. Then suddenly someone I did know, someone I definitely knew. Chapman. He appeared suddenly in front of me carrying a shopping bag from one of the department stores, heading toward the B. Dalton bookstore. Chapman, if the dust creature's linked to Yerks, he'd know. Chapman's our assistant principal at school. He's also the highest ranking controller. As a slug within his brain is an important Yerk. He'd know. Following him would be more useful when wandering around a mall, but how? Morphing a crowded mall would be dangerous. So what? I approached myself. So don't do something stupid to prove you aren't scared, I hear myself. While I was debating, I fell in step a few yards behind him. I already made up my mind. I was just going to decide how to spy on him. Horsefly. No, wait. Housefly. That was it. Horsefly is something else. Housefly. Yes, that was the thing. A quick morph, hop on Chapman, stay with him for as long as I could. Chapman was in the bookstore thumbing through magazines. How long would he stay? Long enough? Maybe. And where could I morph without being seen? I went to the back of the store. The store went a door ajar. Inside was a second door, a bathroom for the employees. Bingo. I glanced at Chapman. He moved to history section. What do you want with history? I swallowed hard and slid into the store, acting like I belonged, but also moving quickly. No one was around. I went to a tiny employee's bathroom and locked the door. I took out my shoes and our clothing and stashed in the trash under a lot of wide-up paper towels. I had to come back for them later. Then I focused. It wasn't easy because my heart was pounding. I really didn't like insect morphs much. I focused on a fly and prayed no one broke into the bathroom. I felt giddy. I wasn't afraid, not to anyway. Even Rachel would have been impressed. I began to shrink. It was very weird when you morph into something small. One minute your head's 4 feet above the floor, then suddenly you're only 2 feet, then 1 foot, then 6 inches, then 1 inch. Like falling, it seems like the floor is rushing up. I mean, linoleum seems to be alive the way it's souped up, like a skydiver spiraling to Earth. But there are disturbing things happening too. There's nothing human about a housefly. Everything has to change. Everything. My hands seemed to split open. 2 of my fingers grew out and became sharp claws. 2 others of my thumb blossomed open and turning into thousands of tiny sticky hairs. This kind of thing used to scare me. I definitely started morphing. The worst horror movie you ever saw is a joke compared to actually watching your body turn into something else. Morphing is almost never pretty. The earth's also even the best morpher that can make it look okay, but nothing can make a fly look okay. There are no Brad Pitt flies. Flies are ugly-looking creatures. Nasty, ugly, gross, disgusting creatures. My legs are shriveling down, turning into fly legs. Splooch! 2 new legs exploded from my chest just at the bottom where my ribs had been. The legs shot at me like huge black worms. They grew dagger-like hairs and formed joints, and became hard as plastic. My face... well, that was definitely unpleasant. My nose split open, forming 2 halves. Each half began sprouting long, sensitive hairs. My mouth and tongue melted together, formed huge, very huge, forming a long tube of an open, splitting, sucking hole at the end. My eyes seemed to shatter like a mirror broken into 1,000 pieces. My vision had gone for a moment, and I was blind. It came back so different I almost didn't recognize this sight at all. I'd gone from a human eye to compound eye, where once my vision was a single picture, now was 1,000 bits. Like watching TV with your nose right against the screen while you twist the control knobs. The bits form pictures and the colors are all wrong. At last I was done morphing. I was a fly. It was true, I guess I was a little faster than the others, even axed. I know it's kind of a stupid thing to be proud of, but I am. I beat my powerful wings, let go of my grip on the tiny ridge of linoleum, and escaped from the bathroom by zooming very neatly behind a crack of the door. Once out, I shot quickly for altitude and safety, and headed for Chapman. Chapter 18 with Axe. The dust beast carried me up and up. I could feel gravity tugging at me. I feel momentum as I move faster and faster. I could see nothing. I only hear a swirling sound. We began to slow down. Slower. Slower. Stop. The beast hovered. How high up are we? Where were we? And then a gap appeared in a howling wall of dust. I saw the Earth below, but not from orbit. We were still in the atmosphere. That surprised me. What I saw next did not. It was not a large ship by most standards. It was far smaller than an Andalite dome ship, far smaller than a Yurka mothership. It was all black with 2 wings like a battle axe and a long, sharp, diamond-shaped battle provision mounted on the top, or rather the front. I knew the ship. It was the Blade ship, the private command ship of Visitor 3. It dropped a stealth cloak for just a few moments. Suddenly a hole appeared at the top of the battle bridge. Dust beast swirled through, and suddenly I was falling. Slam! I hit a hard surface. My hooves scrabbled to stand up, but I was down my side. The dust beast had dropped me on a polished metallic floor. I stood up, the dust beast hovered above, and all around me on all sides stood Harbinger warriors, each with a Dracon beam leveled and ready to fire. There must have been 10 of them. 2 or 3 would have been plenty. Once the Harbinger were a decent, peaceful race, and they're enslaved by the Yeerks. Harbinger are incredibly dangerous and powerful. They stand on 2 legs balanced by a tail. Each one lands in a foot like an earth bird of prey. They have 2 arms, their curved blades on their knees, at their elbows, and their wrists. The blades are similar to my own tail blade, atop their snake-like heads with 2 more swept forward, and their tails end in long, sharp spikes. They're not a species you want to start a fight with, which is maybe why they're such a peaceful and poetic species. They had no one to fear, until the Yeerks began to make them into controllers. Now there are no longer any free Harbinger. All are slaves to the Yeerks in their heads. All controllers are living Yeerk in their brains. 2 or 3 could have dealt with me. Having 10 was a compliment. Well, well, said a voice in my head, so we have our first captive. It was him, as I'd known it would be. Visitor 3, the 3rd most powerful of all Yeerk warlords, the leader of the Yeerk invasion of Earth, an abomination. He was unique in all the galaxy, the one only Andalite controller. He alone of all Yeerks had managed to take and enslave an Andalite body. The sight of him filled me with loathing. My brother's killer, the creature I knew I had to destroy. If I didn't, I'd never have the honor of being a true warrior. I had faced him before, but always my human friends beside me. To attack the Visitor then would have been risking them. But now I didn't have that excuse. Visitor 3 was before me, my brother's killer. He focused his main eyes on me, his stalk eyes watched a dust piece that hovered uneasily above our heads. I was ashamed to confess that I felt terror in its presence. Evil radiated from him a power, a great and frightening power. "You're not even fully grown, Andalite," he sneered. "My Velik brings me a child." Velik? Oh yes, I named it myself. In the Yeerk language it means pet. It's a rare life form from right here in the solar system. The big gas giant, the one with the very prominent rings. Saturn, that's what the humans called it, but I said nothing. Answering might reveal that I was in contact with humans. He considered me. So you are an Andalite after all. Some of my advisors suggested you might be human, but here we have a prime Andalite specimen. The Earth's bleeding animals are a group of Andalites to survive battle and orbit made to Earth. It was important for them to go on believing that. Yerk, filth, I cried suddenly. My uncles will destroy you. He laughed. You and your uncles have caused me some annoyance, it is true. You destroyed the truck ship used to gather oxygen and water. It was very unfortunate. You destroyed our ground-based Kadrona. Even more so. He stepped forward and showed his complete confidence, showing he didn't fear me. For that, I'll give you a very long and slow death, Andalite. I wanted to strike at him, my brother, Prince Elvingor, he would have had the courage. But I did not. The Harbinger would disintegrate even more than twitch my tail. An awful force of his power held me mesmerized. Yes, you led me on a chase, you Andalite bandits, Visifree said, but my Velig will catch you one by one and bring you to me. If I lacked the courage to attack and die, I could at least try and learn more. If I lived, if I escaped somehow by a miracle, how do you make a controller of something made of dust? Where do you place your filthy slug body? Oh, it is not one of us, Visifree said. He is not a controller. He is not even really a he. There is no intelligence, or at least not much. Fascinating life form, really. Unlike anything we've found before, it spreads to atmospheres of dust. Each particle can sense life form energy. Any life form. When one senses prey, the millions of particles come together and attack and chew it to shreds. The energy of each shred is absorbed by the particles themselves. He laughed again, soundless but vile. We lost a lot of soldiers when we figured this creature out. Oh yes, it was chewing up Harbinger antagonists at a startling rate, but then we realized it could be altered. We could use this thing. I could program it to serve me. I don't understand the truth. You changed it to only detect only the energy of morphing. Very good, but you Andalites have been clever when it comes to science. Yes, now it detects only the energy it released during morphing. But it cannot feel the energy. Oh no, I didn't want to shred you Andalites. I don't want it to eat you. I want to have you here with me. So I programmed my Velig to eat only the energy feed from the engines of my ship. Clever, isn't it? It seeks morphing, attacks and brings a morpher to me in order to get its true food. Only a Yerk would think it's clever to force mutation on our life forms as contemptuously as I could. Should I strike? Could I? Was I fast enough? He nodded. Yes, we lowly Yerks know how superior you Andalites are. Holier than thou. The meddling moralists of the galaxy. The glorious, self-righteous Andalite prince saving the galaxy from despised Yerks. Well, here we are, Andalite child. And soon the rest of your bandits will be here as well. How many of you are there altogether? I'll tell you nothing, I said. It doesn't matter, he said with cold disdain. The Velig will never tire. I'll send it back and he'll go on hunting. Your friends will be clever. Perhaps they'll escape for a while, but sooner or later my Velig will hunt them down and one by one bring them to me. He jerked his hand to signal the soldiers. Throw him in the cage. Watch him. If he escapes, each you will die. Oh, and have the Velig fed, then release it. Let it go 5 more Andalites. I wouldn't want a young Andalite to be too lonely. The Harbinger grabbed me roughly. Visifree turned his back and walked away. I had not struck. I had been face to face with my brother's killer, and I let him walk away.